This podcast is brought to you by the fine folks at Zcast. Zcast, a free mobile app and website, available in iTunes and Google Play stores. Zcast provides the platform to host and live broadcast your podcast. Thank you, Zcast. We literally wouldn't be here without you. And now, the Greg Wiener Podcast with Imran Sheikh.
Maybe we can talk about your backlog again?
Right. Listen, here's the situation, right? I have a lot of powerful people in my social media circle who I cannot afford to upset.
And you think that this podcast will upset them?
No. I think jumping the line.
There is no line, you whack job.
There is a line.
No, there's not. Yeah, there's a line in your fucking head.
Well, what is social media but inside our heads? Social media doesn't exist in the real world.
Right, and you've created this world in your head where you've got a hierarchy to status updates. And by the way, why don't we just take a look at your Facebook and see how there are no shout-outs to anybody but fucking dumb cat bullshit. Let's see.
There's no cat.
Let's see.
Cat bullshit.
No, I don't know. That was on your Instagram feed. This is your last Facebook post, April 17th. The Honorable Harry Anderson presiding. And then
Harry Anderson passed away.
The next one is the day before. This, an SNL sketch, April 13th at 8:13 p.m. I like that A Quiet Place is the white people's version of Get Out. So much so that it even presents its own version of an underlying social commentary directed at viewers who identify with the main character's race in order to thrive in the film's new world. An afterthought.
I'm single, ladies.
A performer known mostly for his comedic role turns in an artured horror film. Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's no, there's not. That's all I have on here. Maybe you edit it because we all know how much thought and planning goes into your Facebook status updates.
You have no idea.
Yeah, no, I can see. The proof is in the pudding, my South Asian friend. All my passwords are the authorization codes used by various bridge crew on Star Trek The Next Generation. I know it makes me easily hackable, but Techie's gonna trek.
Trekkie's gonna trek.
Okay, well, you need to go in and fix that.
It says Techie's gonna trek? Oh, no. That's why I didn't get enough likes.
Yeah, you only got 21 likes and 2 comments.
Facebook is weird. Like, I'll have posts that get like 60 likes, and then the next post will get like 1 like.
What I'm getting to is that there is no Facebook hierarchy. You're a liar. Here's my theory of why you won't post. We say a lot of controversial things. You don't want people knowing that you say these things, and you're worried that it may stop you from getting a job down the road. True or false? Nope. True or false? Just answer the question, Mr. Sheikh.
False.
Okay. So
I knew your mind would go there. I knew your mind would. A,
yes.
No. B, I'm in a back. I cannot jump the line. There was a pilot I did that I got a post about. I haven't posted about. There was Disgraced. I don't think I'm going to post about Disgraced at this point because it's too far off. There was another show I did in Cleveland that I haven't posted about.
So you're worried that you're going to piss off the people who hired you for a job that you did 2 months ago by posting something that you're doing now. You feel like you are going to literally insult.
Yeah.
Because if they see something that you're involved in now, then they'll think to themselves, why didn't he post about our job?
Yep.
So you're in this posting stalemate. The backlog indeed is real. The backlog is real. Unbelievable.
You just proved it to yourself.
No, what I did was I gave voice to your irrational, silly thoughts.
Okay. See, now
you are now involved.
Now you're being insulting.
No, come on.
Listen,
I was way more insulting earlier. You're now involved in a media pursuit of a podcast. We are putting hardcore time into this.
You know what? Here we go.
We are planning. We are professional. We have professional imaging. Okay, that I stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning fucking with last night. I'm putting actual sweat and tears and passion into this thing. I'm sure Cleveland Playhouse will understand if you post something about, hey, listen to this podcast I'm involved in.
I wish it was Cleveland Playhouse.
I'll make sure I leave out the actual theater out of this because now this could really get you in trouble. Why didn't you post about the job when you were doing it?
Because I was in a funk while I was doing it. This is not a funny answer. This is not an entertaining answer, but I was in a funk. No,
what does that mean when you say you're in a funk? Specifically, get specific and honest. Be personal.
Is that one of the rules of podcasting?
It's the rule of our podcast. I've been super honest about a lot of things.
No, let me get to it.
Go ahead. We got time, man. The battery's fully charged.
It all stems from that violinist who ghosted on me, who I wrote an essay to. It all stems from that.
And we'll get to that essay next, right here on the Greg Wiener Podcast with Imran Sheikh.
Oh, God.
This podcast is supported by Zcast. Zcast.co is their web address. They are an app and website. They provide the platform that you're hearing this podcast on. They provide RSS feeds, server space, and links for sharing your podcast. We'd like to thank the folks over at Zcast for their incredible platform and for their constant and undying support of the Greg Wiener Podcast. We love you, Zcast. Thank you so much for your hard work, and we look forward to forging a beautiful, professional, profitable, and maybe sexual, but not harassing sexual relationship with you. Thank you, Zcast. This is the Greg Wiener Podcast. We now return to the Greg Wiener Podcast with Imran Sheikh.
I don't know.
Come on, dude.
No.
It's an essay. It's not just a letter. It's not an email. No.
No, it's an essay.
It's an essay. Does it have footnotes? I mean,
it has an introduction, it has body paragraphs, and it has a conclusion. There actually is a footnote.
No, there's not.
Gonna lie. Listen, let me see if I can read this part. Okay, this is the opening, right? Oh my God. What the fuck was I thinking?
Go ahead.
It's probably not a good idea to be doing this, but I feel compelled. I would much rather say this to you in person, of course, but I don't know when or if that would be. Plus, I'm not good at this type of thing extemporaneously. I can contain my rambling to a certain degree here and not leave anything unsaid, at least. However, just a block of text can be cold, clinical. Please know then that this is coming from a place of heart and sincerity. I hope you can receive it thusly.
No. You didn't say, I hope you can receive it thusly.
Oh, I did.
Were you writing to Juliet, the character in Romeo and Shakespeare's Juliet?
I was off my rocker when I wrote this thing.
When was this? Like a week ago?
This was December 18th, 2017.
You poor... Oh, you know what? Oh.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
No, what?
Nothing.
No, what?
That was a good day for Greg. You know what? And I just realized something. December 17th of 7 years ago was another good day for Greg Wiener.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you were having a good time.
I wonder what's going on astrologically for me to thrive at that time of the year.
Oh, my misery fuels your joy.
Well, you're not a Virgo, born on September 3rd, so, your moon was in a shitty house, apparently, and your cusp wasn't rising the way mine was.
Yeah, I bet your cusp was rising.
I got your cusp.
This format doesn't lend itself to much ease either. It's particularly challenging because I don't know how to articulate exactly what I want to say. How does one describe a feeling or feelings accurately? I don't know. Especially without sounding cheesy or schmaltzy.
Schmaltzy? Hold up. Schmaltzy?
I mean,
how did you edit this before you sent it?
I wish I had. I wish I had never sent it. Period. I wish I had never sent it. Period.
Oh, God. Hey, listen, I've sent horrible letters to girls to try and explain my feelings before, but, she must have been like, what the fuck is this South Asian talking about? Schmaltzy?
This is still the opening paragraph.
Oh, my God. How many pages is this?
This is, if that's the opening paragraph, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Paragraphs or pages?
10 paragraphs.
Okay. How many pages is it? I mean,
so
if you copy
screens.
it and paste it into, it's 2 screens full.
All right, let me copy and paste it
into Word.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get a character count too. 10,000 word essay.
You know what's really sad? There's a part of me that hopes she's listening to this. She's not listening. She's never going to listen to this. But
and she thinks she hears the pain in your voice, and she finally hears what the essay really felt like if it were spoken word. in person, you know?
Yeah.
You're hoping that happens.
Yeah, and I would get her back that way.
And so, really, that's the reason you're allowing this essay to be read on here, in the hopes that she'll hear this. Okay, I'm getting to know you better. And that is exactly why you're letting this go on the podcast.
Everything I've done from December 18th, 2017 up until now has been an effort to get her back.
So this is why in January, when we were supposed to start the podcast, you were...
I was out of commission. You don't understand. I wasn't getting out of bed.
No, really?
I'm still kind of torn up about this. It's not as extreme as it was then, but oh yeah. December, January, dark.
Well,
dark time.
Those are dark times anyway. You know, and I expected to be in a horrible funk during that time, going through what I was going through, but it was actually a wonderful, wonderful fucking time for me.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
I didn't think I'd make it through the holidays. So, yeah.
I mean, it was compounded by the fact that it was the holidays.
Well, wait a minute, but it wasn't Ramadan. So, what do you care?
You're right. What was I thinking?
What was I thinking feeling those true feelings? How dare I?
Oh, man, it's a good thing I'm not fasting while this is happening.
Do you eat your feelings when you're that depressed? Do you just sit in bed and
100%.
You pull 100%. The bag of Lay's potato chips over? Or no, sorry, the
literally, yes. Lay's potato chips. Literally, yes.
Do you just pour like bowls of curry down your throat with tears streaming down your cheeks?
I was living with my parents at the time, so I would tell my mom to cut back on the salt in the curries, because my tears would provide the salinity. Yeah, so not only did I get ghosted by the girl who I probably should have committed to and married, but it was the holidays, Christian holidays.
Thank you.
To which I identify more. You're welcome. And I was living at with my parents.
And you had just gotten back from Fort Myers, where you were writing an incredible creative hobby.
Yeah. I just got back from doing one of the only shows I've done where I was really proud. There were a few others, but I was really proud of my work. And so it was not just a triple threat, it was a quadruple threat of misery.
Well, I am glad you made it through. And I kind of figured that something was going on with you. And I just, me personally, like, I had to like pour myself into creating shit. Of course, I wasn't living with my parents. I wasn't South Asian.
That's number 5. I was South Asian throughout this whole ordeal. You try walking around with that albatross around your neck.
In New Jersey, nonetheless. Jesus Christ.
Jersey City, New Jersey.
Okay, are we going to get back to the essay?
Especially without sounding cheesy or schmaltzy. Schmaltzy. Schmaltzy?
We didn't really get into why you used the word schmaltzy and what is the actual definition of schmaltzy, like cheesy?
Cheesy.
Okay.
All right. How do you not know what schmaltzy means?
No, I do. I just want to
You're a Jew.
I just want to flush out for those that are not of the chosen people what schmaltzy means.
I just want to make clear, when Jewish? I referred to you as a Jew, that was not a slur, that was facts.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jewish, so.
Where is that in your stand-up? Where do you say you're Jew?
I don't, because that's so fucking hacky. I'm sure billions of Jewish comedians have said it.
I would rock that in my third or fourth joke.
Well, I did rock the I'm Jewish, if you couldn't tell by my nose and my sense of entitlement. It was one of my openings. Most of the time it got a laugh.
Other times, no.
Other times they're like, oh no, another Jewish comedian poking fun at himself.
Bagels thrown at you on stage.
I wish. At least I would have gotten paid for something.
All right, you want me to read this fucking email or what?
Yeah. How does it feel, by the way, to be in the midst of a bit and I just come in and interrupt you every 5 seconds with my own shit? How does it feel? Oh, I'm curious. Wait a minute. I know how it feels. I don't need to ask you. I got to apologize.
For all the animus?
I am a little salty today. I don't particularly like doing a podcast with the sun out, especially when I have a day of work ahead of me. So I'm a little cranky, but I'm here and I'm punching in for work. All right, go ahead with your tragic essay.
I'll do my best to ensure accuracy and minimize cheese. Ever since we started talking, yes, virtually, there was something special. You're very clearly smart, clever, funny, as I came to later find through your violining, talented, and of course beautiful. I'll admit, on our first date, I couldn't tell if you hated my guts or we're just achingly bored.
This
is true. That's actually true. I legit thought she was not interested. I legitimately thought that.
Okay, what was she doing to make you think that?
She was literally not saying anything. And I busted out all my stories. Like all the like third date stories I was doing on the first date. And I was just like going because I was enamored by her. I was very enthralled. She was very beautiful. She's very beautiful.
So you had your A game. Can you text me a picture of her?
No.
Great. Go ahead.
In my mind, she's still active duty, so I can't release her information.
She's still active duty, meaning you still got a shot somewhere?
There's like a 2%, albeit 2%, there's a 2% chance. I almost stalked her, by the way.
All right. Go ahead.
So she unfriended me on Facebook.
After you sent this essay, right?
Oh, after I sent this essay, she unmatched me on Tinder. She unfriended me on Snapchat. We were never Instagram followers. I think we were Facebook friends. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure if we were, she unfriended me. And so I I looked at her Facebook and I saw that she was going to a show at a certain date. And I immediately bought tickets to that show.
Imran, that's stalking.
I know it is stalking. And so I was like, no. What if I go? I'm not gonna like look for her. I'm just gonna go enjoy the show. I'll go with my roommate and it'll be just me and my roommate hanging out. It'll be great. It won't be creepy. It won't be me stalking her. And so then when the date came around, I was like, no, I can't do this. This is stalking. I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is like she's gonna freak the fuck out if I show up.
Well, wait a minute. What band was it? And could you have legitimately both bought tickets to the same band and just happened to be there?
No. There is another band where I'm planning to go see them where there might be a chance. But that's not stalking because I legitimately do want to see this band and I've expressed such several times.
To who? Her? Or just in general in your life? So you have proof that you're not stalking.
General in my life and thereby to her as well because I was pouring my heart out to this girl. So I must have told her at some point.
Is she Jewish?
No, she's French. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm so hung up with this girl. She ticked all the boxes. I don't have a lot of needs. I've got three things I want in a girl.
Curry.
Three things.
Curry.
An ability to produce curry. She needs to know French and be a violinist. Those are my three criteria. She checked all of them. All of them.
Wow, this is such a tragedy.
You don't understand the heartbreak I'm going through.
Still going through. You know, it's May, by the way, of 2018. Just so we're clear on the timeline for you.
I know. Because here's the thing. When I was willing to let it go, but then I realized, wait a minute, you fool. You're wanting to let it go because you don't want to commit to her. That's dumb. I should commit to her because she's great. I'm being a
Hold on a second. So the backstory to this is you guys dated for how many dates did you go out on?
We dated for 2 months.
Okay.
So we went on like, I would say 12, 13. We saw each other once a week because our schedules are so jacked up.
Okay. And she wanted you to commit.
I was getting that vibe from her because she also mentioned she's only ever had long-term relationships.
Was she dating anyone else while she was going out with you for 2 months?
It's hard to tell. I don't know.
You never made an exclusive kind of agreement.
Well, here's the thing. I never verbalized it, but I myself had stopped dating while I was dating her. But I never told her.
You met on Tinder or Bumble or?
Tinder.
Wow.
And it was a fluke too. And this is the thing that kills me too. She was one of those swipes where I was like, there's no chance in hell I have with this girl. There's no chance. I'm just going to swipe anyway. Because sometimes I super like. And I was like, I'm not even going to super like because it's going to be a waste.
You spend the money. You spend the money, huh? On the super like.
May or may not.
Well, you do because you don't just get super likes. You have to pay for them. So you super liked and then what? It matched?
No, I didn't because I was like, it's going to be a waste because she's never going to like me back. Okay. She's out of my league. So I just swipe right on her, and then we obviously matched. And
immediately, or was it a later match?
I think it was like a week later, actually.
Okay, so you swiped right first, and then she swiped right a week later.
Yes. Okay. Yes. We clicked. We set up a date a week in advance, and like 3 days later, she was like, "So this is the awkward part where we try to talk to each other before we actually meet up." Oh, I was in love.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Right?
Yeah. I had a girl do that right out of the gate when I picked her up. She said, well, I'm nervous. And I was like, nice icebreaker. I said, me too. I said, I didn't know what song to put on the car stereo to set the mood. And then we had a good laugh. It wasn't that great of a laugh. But
what did she sound like again? What did she? I'm nervous.
She didn't. I know, right? Well, I'm nervous. Something along those lines. It was endearing, and it broke the ice wonderfully. And then she rubbed my back as I haggled over the check because they overcharged me for drinks at the bar. And I was like, oh shit, she's rubbing my back. Am I getting that animated about this gaff in the bill?
You cheap Jew.
No, I'm not going to pay $30 extra for Red Bull and vodka, which I never fucking had. Neither of us had it. And all of a sudden I feel a hand on my back and I'm like, is she being sexual or is she trying to calm this angry Jew down?
I had the worst experience. I was on a first date with a girl who I had no business going out with because she was out of my league. Mm-hmm. But when we met in person, I was like, oh, we are in the same league. But then that's neither here nor there. But it sucked because I mentioned before I have 3 places that I take women to.
You have 3 places you take women to after you stalk them and kidnap them. So where are they, Imran? Tell the FBI and Homeland Security.
I go to this place. I don't want to name names, but it's actually where I took this girl who we're talking about, the email girl, and she actually called me out on it. She was like, "So you bring all your first dates here, huh?"
Oh, I like this girl. I like this girl a lot.
Man, I'm telling you, her sense of humor was rock solid.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Witty,
dude.
Abrasive.
Yes.
She literally, one time we were in the subway. This was one of her favorite things to do. We were getting along well. We always got along well. But we were in the subway, and she literally, as soon as the doors opened and we had to get out, she just yelled in my face, "You're not nearly as charming and funny as you think you are." She just stormed up. I don't know. You had to be there, but it was really funny.
That's funny. I used to do that with girls out in public. I just say something out of nowhere just to embarrass them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that. She did. One time I did that to her. We went to see a show. We went to see The Play That Goes Wrong, which I didn't like. She liked. And we were walking out, and she was laughing at something, and I was like, "Can you please sober up for once? Can we get you some coffee so you can sober up? I'm tired of this. I can't go on like this. This isn't happening anymore. You're drunk again." We're in the lobby, and people.
Oh, that's good. I pulled the move when we're out to dinner, and a girl will be ordering something, and she won't be a pain in the ass. I'll just look at the waitress, and I'll say, "I'm sorry. She's on the spectrum."
Oh, what? Holy shit. That's bold.
I don't think I've ever said that, but along those lines. So
wow, we're a couple of Casanovas.
Yeah. A couple of single bachelor Casanovas. You want to get back to this essay?
Ever since we started talking, yes, virtually, there was something special. You're very clearly smart, clever, funny, as I came to later find through your violining. And of course, beautiful. I'll admit, on our first date, I couldn't tell if you hated my guts or were just achingly bored. I was
achingly bored. I'm so glad that's now in my lexicon.
I was pleasantly surprised the evening ended on a positive note. We sloppily made out. It was great. I was even more pleasantly surprised you wanted to continue seeing me. I've told you this, I know. From there on, it was sublime. This I haven't told you. Really, everything about you, us, what we had as a relationship / togetherness / whatever term applies. It was grand. And I couldn't believe it.
I think relationship would suffice. You didn't have to keep going, but go ahead. I'm just critiquing you.
And then it's also the stupid mindset that I was in where I was like, I can't tell her I wanted to be in a relationship with her. I can't do that.
But you did.
But I did.
Yeah.
I mitigated it by adding togetherness / whatever term applies.
Right.
Let's see. Can I read this part? You have to. I'm going to skip that part.
Why?
It's a little rough. It talks about my foibles. Let's see. Can I?
Your foibles.
But I could and did. I talk about how I could get close with her, and I enjoyed every second of it. I also found myself letting myself be myself. Sure, sometimes I played up the weirdness for laughs, believe it or not. But there is an acceptance with you that I've found non-existent with other people.
Jesus.
Even close friends. I went so far as to put your full name in my contacts, complete with a name-related pun. a distinction only one other person has ever garnered. That's true, by the way. Such an impact you've had on me.
Who's the other person, and what an honor. I'm surprised she didn't throw the fucking phone down and run into your arms. He put my full name in his phone with a pun. Taxi! Carry on, please.
Such an impact you've had on me that I go around giving affirmatives in the form of percentages. She used to say 100% a lot.
Jesus, I give affirmations in the form of percentages. Nerd alert.
Also, you have to understand, I'm living like a college kid, and I don't have a real... I sleep on a futon, and I brought her back one time, brought her back to my place, so she knows that I sleep on a futon.
Wait a minute, you brought her back to your parents' place in Jersey?
No. Before.
Yep.
I was living on back in my apartment. I even almost bought a real mattress because of you.
Oh my, you did not say that.
Yep. It's in there. It's in there. And then I talk about...
That's so romantic. That's so romantic. You almost made me buy an actual mattress. Almost. You didn't. You didn't get there. But you almost did. That's how special you are.
Well, I didn't want to scare her off, Greg.
Right,
of
course
This was me
not.
mitigating that.
This is you playing cool.
Yes!
Continue. You almost made me buy you a mattress. Oh, this is golden. Thank you so much.
And then we made out in a Chinatown store that sold clearly stolen goods. And I kind of make fun of that.
How romantic. Please.
I literally say, if that alone isn't the hallmark of true romance, then I don't know what is.
Nice.
Things were going great. I saw a viable future for what we had. Dating? ? Relationship ? A future that was growing. And then I had to leave for Florida. ... Great timing. The whole time in Florida, though, I thought about you. And then I talk about when I flew back, I thought about her, blah, blah, blah.
It's true. You did think about her because you were, I remember now, you were absolutely crushed.
I was a mess.
Yep.
When the opportunity arose to fly back to NYC for a shoot, the first thing I thought was that this would be a fantastic opportunity to see you.
I like how you dropped in a humble brag about your career. When I flew back to New York City for a shoot for a Wes Anderson pilot starring Burt Reynolds and Lena Dunham, I thought of seeing you. You drop like 30 names. Yeah.
I wanted us to continue and then some. In fact, the first thing I wanted to do upon my return was take you, oh my God, this is embarrassing, was to take you to my favorite place on earth. I could write a whole separate email. Just on how taking you there is, in my mind, a big deal. But I will spare you that essay.
No. What's your favorite place on earth? It's mosque, obviously. Which mosque is it?
It's this mosque in Jersey. I was going to have her converted. It's a mosque / camel riding institute. And you read the Quran while you're riding a camel. Who doesn't enjoy that?
No, it sounds like a party. Go ahead. What is your favorite place on earth?
Grounds for Sculpture in Hamilton, New Jersey. It's a sculpture garden.
Islamic? Is it Islamic sculpture? No, seriously. I know you're a big fan.
It's not Islamic sculpture.
It's not Islamic culture. Yeah.
It's not Islamic culture.
Continue.
Maybe I should read it at that.
No, please,
racist.
God, don't. First of all, that doesn't match at all. If you were to read it, in your native, whatever, that would make sense. Your native
accent.
Your native dialect. Go ahead.
We never talked about real things. No. Grounds for Sculpture is this beautiful place. It's in Hamilton, New Jersey. It's a bitch to get to, but once you get there, it's great. The heir to the Johnson & Johnson fortune is an artist, and he sculpts. He makes 3D sculptures of Renaissance paintings.
Why did you hit the T on artist so hard? The first T.
Because I wanted to say artiste in order to make fun of him, but then my mind was like, nah, I actually kind of respect him, so I stopped halfway through.
Okay, continue.
We never talked about, quote, real, unquote, things. I think you described our interactions as us being clever with each other. If you ask me,
oh, good.
That's way more intimate than the alternative.
Okay, what?
I think you described our interactions as us being clever with each other. If you ask me, that's way more intimate than the alternative. That being...
Stupid with each other?
No. How are you doing?
You want to go to McDonald's and get Happy Meals?
No, what I'm referring to there is we never asked things like, how was your day? Or what I was getting at was like, the fear that was running in my head is maybe one of the reasons why she doesn't want to go out with me anymore is that I wasn't like, how was your day? Oh, you had a rough day at work. I hope it was, blah, blah, blah. So I was trying to get at like, that's small talk is not what I like. I prefer the way we talked. I think that's way more intimate. And that's true. I do feel that.
Well, right. You either can do that or you can't.
So the next bit is pretty heartbreaking.
Oh, God.
This is heart-wrenching here.
Really? Like, seriously? Or are you being facetious?
I'll let our listeners be the judge.
Carry on, my friend.
So I'm going to retread a little bit to get the full weight of it. We never talked about quote-unquote real things. I think you described our interactions as us being clever with each other. If you ask me, that's way more intimate than the alternative. But the casualty there is that things like the things I've written to you here go unsaid. And I end up feeling compelled to write a TLDR email and face the possibility of losing you.
TLDR email?
Too long. Didn't read. You never seen that?
Nope.
It's internet speak. It's what the kids do.
Yeah, it's internet millennial speak.
She is significantly younger than me, so I was trying to bridge a gap there.
How much younger?
I don't want to get into numbers. She's still active duty, man. I can't. She's still active duty.
Continue.
I can't release the knock list on her.
The knock list?
That's a deep cut Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, this is heartbreaking.
Come on.
Oh, that second thing, losing you, is or has proven to be, in the past week, devastating. If I was writing this as a letter by hand, you'd notice how disheveled my handwriting just got writing that bit. I'm a little surprised by it myself, honestly, but I'm also not surprised. It was always there, the level of connection. Oh
I like how you equated you typing this on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
How could you possibly equate that?
I used my laptop for this.
Okay, so what did you do that on your laptop while writing that would have been made the handwriting disheveled?
Oh, nothing. I never wavered in form writing this. This was just a flourish to explain to her my level of distraughtness.
Beautiful. Continue.
You see, it's called painting a picture, Greg. Jesus.
Really interesting.
Seeing you, talking to you, it all made me genuinely happy. And I don't just mean in a, boy, we had some good laughs way. Knowing you were there made me feel content. Talking to you made the day more pleasant. Spending time with you a highlight, and every minute memorable. You make me want to be a better man. That's a quote from a film you've probably never seen. I rolled my eyes as I typed that. That was an in-joke that we had. Anytime I would say, oh, that's from such and such movie, she'd be like, I've told you a million times, I don't watch movies. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait a minute, she doesn't watch movies?
She's one of those people who hasn't seen the classics.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So she's significantly younger. That happens a lot. No, I get it. I lived it.
You know the thing I missed the most while I was in Florida was your laugh. Man, I love your laugh. I loved hearing your laughter and somehow, despite your protestations to the contrary, managing to make you laugh. I know, this part is great. I know I'm seemingly tripping into hyperbole here, but honestly, it feels like there is something missing from my life, an ever-present incompleteness. Coming to the core and purpose of this, the big ask here is this. Life is short. We have no idea what our futures hold. I want to spend what precious time I have with someone who I have a real connection with, someone who I care for, with whom there's a mutual drive to bring joy and humor. I don't know what will happen, but I know in the present that person is you, and I'd like to be with you. Can we pick up where we left off? Can we try again? Can it be more between us? And then I get into something really personal that I should not speak about on air. There it is, my rambling love letter to you.
What is the personal thing that you can speak about on the air?
It was,
without going into it, what's the context?
An intimate moment that we had that I don't want to, She's active duty, man. She's active duty. I can't.
Again, active duty does not mean that she is serving for the military. It means that Imran is still holding on to a shred of hope.
That she'll come back.
And,
Especially after her surreptitiously listening to this.
Well, maybe that will give you cause to fucking post it in the hopes that I'm assuming most of your social networking profiles are public.
Everything.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So she can see everything and stalk you, possibly.
Oh, I hope she stalks me.
So then you're going to start sharing media for the podcast now on all social networking platforms, Imran?
Yeah, sure. So there it is. My rambling love letter to you, replete with errant thoughts and pinings thrown haphazardly about. I suppose I could have gotten fancy and written more coherently with a theme and a more controlled style, but this isn't a short story, a work of fiction. It's how I feel. Jesus. And most importantly, a hope with love, Imran. And then there's a P.S., which is an inside joke.
Of course there's a P.S. You don't shut up.
The P.S. is an inside joke. It won't make any sense.
Will it make me laugh?
I don't know. I don't think so. Well,
give it a test drive. Give it a test drive.
Actually, I think the P.S. is what killed it.
Okay, well, then obviously read the fucking P.S. now.
P.S. George Berkowitz would want us to be together. He appeared to me from beyond and told me so, ... after asking me how I was doing 47 times. Now, what that refers to is on our first date, we bonded. Or the first time that I found out that maybe she doesn't hate my guts was we talked about how one of my stories is this guy from high school that I used to know who I stalk on Facebook with anger and hatred and jealousy. And she was like, oh, I love going to weird. And we started talking about weirdos on Facebook that we're friends with. And she mentioned this one guy, George Berkowitz, and how he posts like old person posts. Like he literally, like a series of his posts 1 year was all, how are you? How are you? And then like the misspelling of it and then the correction. It's ridiculous. So it was a reference to
Gotcha. Okay, I
and
don't
George
think
Berkowitz, I should mention, has died.
That's sad.
And the subject heading of this email, by the way,
is
the word pamplemousse, which is the word grapefruit in French. Because on our first date, when I told her I was 44% fluent in French, thanks to Duolingo, thank you, Duolingo. Download Duolingo to learn how to speak any language you want.
The fuck was that?
That was me farting. I fart like a V8.
That makes no sense. Go ahead.
When I mentioned that I was 44% fluent in French, she said, oh, really? I'm fluent in French. Immediately I had a boner. And she goes, what's your favorite word so far? That caught me off guard, and I had to come up with some random word. I think it was dauphin, which is dolphin. She said, my favorite word is pamplemousse, which means grapefruit.
So you sent the email.
Oh, biggest mistake of my life.
How long did it take you to deliberate for sending it to not sending it? Well, to sending it, rather.
After I read it once over, because I edited it like 2-3 times. After the third time, I just hit the button.
And you left the word schmaltz in all 3 times. Amazing. This is in one sitting. This is a 2-hour, 3-hour, however long moment in your life. 3? Okay.
3.
And you typed it, you edited it, you left the word schmaltz in there, and all those fantastic linguistic acrobats that you did for her on paper, and then you just sent it.
I just sent it.
And how long did it take for the regrets to set in?
The regret was
immediate,
almost instantaneous.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah,
almost instantaneous.
Well, and you were so intimate with the content that you knew exactly the possibility of how it could be perceived, but yet you still sent it anyway.
Well, because here's the thing. What happened was after she ghosted me, I was like, can we still like go to the movies, be friends? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. And so we started chatting again. We started talking again over text. And I didn't leave well enough alone. And I was like, no. This is wrong. Because that movie was coming out, the Room movie with James Franco, and so I was like, let's go see that. And she's like, well, I'm kind of busy right now, but I can go next week, whatever, after New Year's, I'm free. And I was like, all right, all right, man, just hold on till New Year's. Just be her friend till New Year's. Maybe I can woo her back. But then I was like, that's manipulative. I don't want to be her friend just so I can like trick her into coming, being with me again. And so then I was like, no, I have to tell her how I feel.
Oh.
She must know. She must know. That's what compelled me to write the email. What I should have done was shut the fuck up and stayed her friend.
You know what, though? On a serious note, if this girl was the right one for you, then that email and you being honest would have worked.
Right?
It would have worked. It would have made her laugh. And if she had a place in her heart waiting and available and ready, you would be together. But she didn't.
Right?
She didn't. At a certain point, you just got to accept it and say, her fucking loss. She was not, she was not the one for me.
But I'm telling you, when we were together, it didn't feel that way. It felt like she was way more serious about the relationship and more into me than I was into her when we were dating.
Well, maybe she got cold feet. Maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe had she been in a relationship before you guys got together?
I don't know, actually. Because actually, I don't know. Because she said she had just moved to New York like 6 months ago when we started dating. Like 6 months. Yeah. So obviously like a year now. So
she had just graduated high school and then, jumped on a bus.
I'm not talking numbers. She's active duty. It's I don't know. It could be that, I was just a fling, like, oh, I'm new in the city. This is going to be my first dating experience or something in the city.
In life.
Could be that.
Right. Since puberty began.
She wasn't that young, Greg.
You know what? I wonder if this failure of a love affair is a product of the new world we live in, with all these options constantly flying in front of our faces, with the apps and just social networking and the dating apps and all that shit. People just are like, I wonder if I could get that, or if I could get that, or if I could get that. The grass is greener over here.
I think that's absolutely true.
It's possible.
Because I actually did oh god, I actually was seeing someone before I met her, and I was actively swiping while I was seeing this other girl.
And that's how you met this one.
And then I met this one, and then I ghosted the other girl like this girl ghosted me.
Oh, but did she write you a fucking heartbreaking vomit of an essay?
No, this girl, I respect this girl so much. She was like, when I ghosted her, she was like, no, you're not going to ghost me. No, you're going to meet me in person and you're going to tell me why you don't want to see me anymore. She was like, I don't care. I'm not trying to like get you back or anything, but you will not do that to me. We will talk in person and we will end this like adults. And I was like, okay. And so we met. She cried.
Jesus.
I made her cry, but it was great because she was,
she was crying.
She was crying. It was great because she cried. We're still friends. We're still friends.
Well, there you go. It wasn't meant to be. Maybe you'll end up being friends with the active duty chick.
Oh, my God. She has not returned my text messages.
When's the last time you text messaged her?
Like 2 weeks ago. It was awful.
What did you say?
You know what it was? I was at the place where we first kissed. This is the only time I've ever done this. There's a couple of things that I do. There's two things that I do for women when I'm really in love with them. I give them gifts.
I do the same thing.
And I draw them things.
I don't do that.
Wait, you give them little things, right? Every time you see them?
No. It's like when I'm falling for a girl, like I'll know that they like something, and it's like a little thing, like a video, like a movie or something, and I want to give that to them, and I fucking give it to them, and they turn into girlfriends eventually. Not because of that, but that's something I do. Not consciously. It's not like, okay, now's the time where I buy this girl something.
Exactly.
Just that happens.
With this chick, it was she loved jelly beans, and so I would not always, but like every now and then, I would buy her jelly beans. And it was fun. It was funny because she hated the ones I got, and I teased her about it. So the other thing I did, which was a first for me, so I had a Bluetooth headphone set, and the batteries would constantly die on that stupid piece of shit. And so on the train, I was like, well, I have to stimulate my brain somehow. I can't just sit here in the quiet because I live in the 21st century and I need to be stimulated 24/7.
Of course.
So I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start memorizing the subway poems. there's poems on subway cars. So I made a game of memorizing each poem before my stop came. It was a fun little exercise. Keep my mind sharp, learn some poetry. I feel like that's a useful thing to have, know poetry.
Absolutely.
And so one time we were on the subway and I recited poetry to her, and she literally was like, "Nah, that was all right." And so I teased her about that. Like, I recited poetry to you and you were unfazed by it. Anyway, the other thing was, the first time we kissed was in front of a train station, which was roped off. And so when I was in Florida, she texted me a photo of a subway poem one time, and she texted me the place where we kissed for the first time. So 2 weeks ago, I was maybe somewhat intentionally at that place where we first kissed. I sent her a photo of that place.
So you went to that place to take a picture as an excuse to be like, oh, hey, look where I am. I happen to just end up here through happenstance.
I arranged to be in that area so that I could be there by happenstance. And by be there by happenstance, I mean walk 4 blocks out of my way to be there by happenstance.
That's not bad. Imran, you are obviously a very kind, sensitive, romantic human man. And
men's rights activist.
And a men's rights activist. And you will find your lady.
Her. Again.
Well, it may not be her.
But I hope it's her.
Well, you can hope all you want, but hope don't make the stars align, my South Asian brother.
I mean, listen, it's tough. I don't know how to get over this broad.
Find another one. Find something to distract. Oh, you've been, haven't you?
Actually, I've kind of stopped. I haven't swiped in a full week.
I haven't swiped in a full week. Jesus Christ, you are a product of today.
But that's the thing that galls me. Not galls me, it crushes me, is that when I was with her, I stopped swiping. Not because I was like, oh, I shouldn't swipe while I'm with her. I literally did not feel like I wanted to be with anyone else.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the beginning of it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she threw it all away.
Is she with somebody else now?
She said the reason why she didn't want to be with me was, and I quote, "I fell into something while you were away, and I want to pursue it further." That's what she said.
Okay. What's wrong with that? That's very honest. At least she didn't ghost you.
Oh, she did ghost me. It was only until I was like, hey, do you not want to see me again? What's going on here? And then she said that.
Oh, okay.
She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was being aloof. I should have responded more. But it was weird. She was like, oh, the reason why I didn't respond to you was because I was just being really bad at responding to you. Unrelated to that, I fell into something and I want to pursue it more, which I don't understand how the two are not related, but whatever.
Well, there's a lot of factors. That and, she's also younger. I don't know how old she is, but if she's in her mid-20s, they're going through what girls go through at that age.
Yeah.
And indecisiveness, not knowing what they want, is chief among those things. So
there's got to be a way I can convince her I'm what she wants.
You already did enough. You should, how you do it now? You don't contact her ever again. Hold on to some dignity. Have some self-respect. Seriously, it sounds harsh, but have some fucking dignity and self-respect, and don't give this girl any more power over you. Fuck that shit, man. You're worth way more than that. And once you appreciate yourself and the quality of person that you are, you won't allow other people to control you or your heart. And that's all I have to say. I'm Greg Wiener.
So you're saying I should go to her apartment?
Yeah, right now. Sure. Have a song and poem ready. Do you play an instrument?
No, may I have an amp.
May I suggest picking up a harmonica? Thank you.
Old MacDonald?
No, I really don't know a song yet. But I have to play the harmonica in this show, so you want to hear my harmonica part in the show?
Here we go with the Greg Wiener CV hour.
I have a solo. It's a big surprise, too, because my character isn't a musician. And then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, look, Sam Phillips, the producer, the owner of Sun Records. He's playing a harmonica, man.
Lots of Jamaicans at the theater you're putting this up at? Oh, Oh, look, man. San Philip. He's playing the harmonica.
The crazy southern boy, San Philip. Oh, can't believe he playing on harmonica, man.
What a god, man.
What a bumbleclad, Rastafari.
Can I say, Jamaican accent is the most fun accent, right or business to be doing to do.
To do.
But that's bullshit, though. It's a fun accent. Why is it racist to do it? Why?
It's not racist to do it. I'm not sitting here making fun of Jamaican people.
I respect
you know what?
accent.
We were supposed to get into actual content, but this letter thing took up most of the day. A Utah teen shamed for wearing racist dress to prom, sparking cultural appropriation debate.
What?
This girl wore a dress, a beautiful
Oriental
Chinese Chung Sam dress.
That sounded so racist.
I'm reading from the story. Keziah Dom is not apologizing for wearing what she calls a beautiful Chinese Chung Sam dress to her high school prom, despite receiving...
sorry.
What?
What's her name?
Keziah Daum. Dom?
What?
Is she South Asian?
No, that's just a very bizarre name.
Okay, so's Imran Sheikh. Pot kettle black, buddy. So people were attacking her on Twitter, saying she's a closet racist.
No, not with a name like that.
For wearing a dress to prom? Yeah, that's a Chinese dress designed by a Chinese dressmaker.
That's like a very specific style of dress.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's not racist.
So you can't wear. Are we being closet racist to French designers when we wear their fucking dresses?
I mean, did she tape her eyes?
Yeah, she did.
All squinty and was she?
She's got chopsticks in her hand too. And as a prop.
Well, if the shoe fits.
Yeah, if the chopstick fits.
I mean, if you're wearing an Oriental dress, you might as well wear the accoutrement of an Oriental person.
I mean, maybe it's the dress or the wonton earrings, the faux wonton earrings. They look like little wontons from wonton soup.
It could have been it could have been her mispronouncing her L's and R's.
That probably put her over the top.
I mean, if you're going to be authentic, I love throwing in French pronunciations whenever I can.
Of course you do.
Why can't you do that with a Chinese? Why is that racist?
I don't know. All right, well, we'll get it. Will be. This is the cliffhanger.
Why is that racist? Can you tell me why, Gleg? You just heard me say accoutrement in a French accent. No one's going to bat an eyelash at that.
Oh, please.
But me saying, can you tell me why, Gleg, is going to be a problem with people.
Right? My eyelashes batted because my eyes rolled into the back of my fucking head from how lame you sounded, trying to be posh.
Accoutrement.
Why
is it that accoutrement is posh, and can you tell me why Gleg is racist jibba jabba? Can you tell me? You can't. That's the society we live in these days.
Yeah, what a tragedy. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the podcast. Rate, review, and subscribe, and share.
Please.
No. I'm telling you, Imran. Rate, review, and subscribe, and maybe Imran will post a link to this podcast so he can get his violinist back. This has been the Greg Wiener Podcast with Imran Shaky.
Later, peeps.
Bye, bitches.
This has been a broadcast of the Greg Wiener Podcast, brought to you by Greg Wiener Productions, Inc. Copyright 2018. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Seriously, please subscribe for the love of Christ. Rate and review, please. Please. Thank you. God bless. Jehovah loves you. I'm Oprah Wiener.